Hey there! If you've been waiting for news about the May 2025 grant increases, you're in the exact right place. Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know, including the precise amounts you'll receive starting next year. Whether you're a student, a small business owner, a parent, or someone relying on social support, these changes could significantly impact your life. Stick around because we're not just sharing numbers, we're diving into eligibility details, payment timelines, and even how these increases compare to previous years. Oh, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the like button so you never miss updates like this. Let's get started. The wait is finally over. After months of speculation and whispers about potential changes to federal and state grant programs, the official numbers for May 2025 have been released, and they're bigger than many anticipated. For anyone relying on grants for education, housing, small business support, or social assistance, this update is critical. Let's start by addressing the question everyone's asking: how much more money will you actually get? The answer varies depending on the type of grant you're enrolled in, but across the board, increases range from 4% to as high as 12% compared to 2024 figures. For example, the Pell Grant, a cornerstone of student financial aid, is set to rise by 8%, which translates to an additional $500 per academic year for full-time undergraduates. That's not just a minor adjustment. It's a meaningful boost that could help cover textbooks, supplies, or even a portion of housing costs for students struggling with inflation. But education isn't the only area seeing changes. Housing grants, particularly those aimed at low-income families and veterans, are getting a significant bump. The Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program, which helps millions of Americans afford safe housing, will see a 6% increase in subsidy allocations. For a family currently receiving $1,200 monthly toward rent, that means an extra $72 per month, enough to ease the pressure of rising utility costs or groceries. Meanwhile, grants for first-time homebuyers in rural areas, administered through the USDA's Single-Family Housing Program, will now offer up to $15,000 in direct assistance, up from $12,500 last year. This $2,500 jump could make the difference between qualifying for a mortgage or staying stuck in the rental cycle. Small business owners, especially those in sectors hit hard by the pandemic, will also benefit. The Small Business Innovation Research (SBIR) grant program is expanding its Phase 1 awards from $150,000 to $175,000, giving startups more runway to develop prototypes and conduct feasibility studies. For tech entrepreneurs and researchers, this extra $25,000 could fund critical early-stage experiments or hiring part-time specialists. Similarly, state-level grants for minority-owned businesses are seeing unprecedented boosts. California's Inclusive Innovation Grant, for instance, is doubling its maximum award to $50,000, with a focus on green energy and AI-driven startups. Now, let's talk about social assistance. Programs like Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF, and Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, are often lifelines for vulnerable populations. In 2025, TANF benefits will rise by 5% nationally, though some states with higher living costs, like New York and Hawaii, are adding another 3 to 4% on top of that. A single parent with 2 children in New York City, for example, could see their monthly assistance climb from $800 to nearly $900. SNAP benefits, meanwhile, are adjusting not just for inflation but also for updated dietary guidelines. The average monthly benefit per person will increase from $250 to $270, with additional funds allocated specifically for fresh produce, a move aimed at improving nutrition outcomes in food-insecure households. Of course, these numbers didn't come out of thin air. The increases are tied to a combination of factors, including annual inflation adjustments, legislative decisions, and advocacy from grassroots organizations. For instance, the 12% hike in disability grants, one of the largest jumps, stems from a bipartisan bill passed earlier this year aimed at addressing the soaring cost of medical care and adaptive technologies. Advocates argued that existing benefits hadn't kept pace with the real-world expenses faced by disabled individuals, from prescription copays to wheelchair repairs, and lawmakers responded. Eligibility criteria are also shifting in some cases. While most grants will maintain their current income thresholds, a few programs are expanding access. The Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant, FSEOG, which prioritizes students with exceptional financial need, is raising its income cutoff by 10%, allowing more middle-income families to qualify for partial awards. On the flip side, certain business grants are tightening requirements to ensure funds go to ventures with clear growth plans. For example, the EPA's Environmental Justice Grant now requires applicants to submit a detailed impact proposal showing how their project will benefit underserved communities, a move meant to prevent misuse of funds. Timing is another key detail. While the increases are slated for May 2025, many programs require applicants to submit paperwork months in advance. Students applying for full 2025 financial aid, for instance, should file their FAFSA by January 2025 to lock in the higher Pell Grant amounts. So, what can you do to maximize your grant income? First, stay informed. Subscribe to official newsletters from agencies like Grants.gov or your state's Economic Development Office. Second, consult with financial advisors or non-profit organizations that specialize in grant applications. Many offer free workshops or one-on-one coaching. Third, mark your calendar with critical deadlines and set reminders. Missing a due date by even a day could cost you thousands. Let's address some common myths. One persistent rumor is that grant money must be repaid. With few exceptions, like research grants requiring specific deliverables, grants are not loans. They are free money, provided you meet the terms. Another myth is that grants are only for low-income individuals. While need-based programs exist, many grants reward innovation, community service, or academic merit. A high-income student with a groundbreaking tech idea could still snag an SBIR grant, just as a thriving business expanding to a disadvantaged area might qualify for revitalization funds. In closing, the May 2025 grant increases are a big deal, but they're only useful if you act on them. Whether you're a student drafting your FAFSA, a family applying for housing aid, or an entrepreneur eyeing that $50,000 state grant, now's the time to prepare. Update your budget to reflect the new amounts. Gather your documents, and reach out for help if you're stuck. And remember, these increases aren't just numbers on a screen. They're tools to create stability, opportunity, and growth in your life. Before you go, if this video helped you, show some love by hitting the like button. It really supports the channel. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you're first in line for updates. Got questions? Drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks for watching, and here's to making the most of May 2025.